Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Spilling the IT. I'm Paul Burke. That's Adam Burke, and today we're talking about managed service providers. Oh, by the way, should probably begin with this. If you have questions, if you have anything you're wondering about managed service providers, please post it in the comments or the chat. Right now, we're broadcasting on Facebook and YouTube, so you can post either of those spots, and we'll make sure to get to your question at the end of the episode. So, Adam, how's life?
Life is good.
I
Life
don't
is
know how to
good.
I don't know how to transition well from
That
that
was
speech
good.
to Adam. How's life?
It was good. It was good. It's going good. The transition was fine.
Thank you.
My 3-year-old found a pretty substantial tarantula on in our front yard that had been recently destroyed by a tarantula hawk. Which, if you want to know a terrifying way that life comes into being, Google tarantula hawk life cycle and just don't eat for a while. You'll be fine. It's good.
Listen, it's Friday. You probably have big plans for the weekend. You don't want to be terrorized with nightmares. Don't look up tarantula hawk.
Yeah.
Do yourself a favor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look up something like I don't know, what's an adorable thing?
Koala bears.
Koala bears. Look up a koala bear.
Yeah.
Look up puppies. Anything. No tarantula hawk. So that brings us to a smooth transition, a very smooth transition.
A velvety transition, so they call it in the industry.
Welcome to a velvety transition brought to you by Spilling the IT. Adam, managed service providers.
Yeah.
What is a managed service provider? We're starting basic. We have more challenging questions in the future, but right now we're starting ground level. We're building up. Without a foundation, you can't go anywhere. Adam, what's a managed service provider? Now I'm going to stop talking.
So managed service providers are organizations that help businesses and all sorts of organizations around the globe operate their IT environment. So it can be anything from people, helping with people on site, to do things like help desk or over-the-shoulder training, things like that, all the way to managing your network environments or your security environments, basically helping organizations run their IT and plug into different applications or things like that. So it's typically a contracted service where you work with someone to come in and either augment your staff or support your operations. Things like we talk about, in some of our other podcasts, we talk around security, we talk around patching, you talk around just updating, firmware releases, things that come out. Basically, the managed service providers help organizations with the care and feeding of their IT that makes their organizations run.
Which is very broad, which is a huge collection of things.
There's a lot there.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask, what are the most common MSP services that either we as Quest offer or just in the industry is typically offered?
Yeah, so managed service providers, the basic premise of it, starting at kind of the baseline is monitoring and alerting. Our organization, Quest, started our managed service practice back in '99. Some rules changed in the financial services industry, and you had to monitor and log certain events that were going on a corporate network. So we got invited to a customer. They asked us to help, as a regional bank, asked us to help monitor and alert traffic and support a new network that they had purchased. I believe they purchased a bunch of new Cisco equipment, and their CFO asked for some help monitoring and alerting that new equipment and operating it. So monitoring and alerting clients' existing environments is a very common managed service practice. That you'll hear the term MSP. They come in, they kind of document what the client has, and they say, hey, okay, for X amount of dollars per month, we'll support this infrastructure in this way. So,
and is it typically like by the size of the company being like that we're monitoring how we charge, or like how's charges basically done?
So there's the traditional way where you count up the amount of kind of the inputs, right? So how many switches, how many firewalls,
Mm-hmm.
how many desktops, how many servers, how many virtual servers. So you count up all the assets and you put it together, and out the other end comes what's called an MRC, a monthly reoccurring charge. Sometimes there's a non-reoccurring charge for setting that all up. Sometimes that's blended into the overall term. Most managed service contracts typically land between 36 to 48 months. Some are shorter, but for the most part, managed service agreements are a decent term. We started a program, so that's the way it's always been done. Sometimes people will do contracted labor for a certain amount of time. So hey, I need a person with this skill set at this location for this amount of time, right? So you might be like a help desk person or someone who's out there and contracted for a certain amount of hours. A lot of MSPs will say, hey, I'll have Bill or Betty at your location for 10 hours every Monday or something, or not 10 hours every Monday, 10 hours a week, and 4 hours Monday, 4 hours Wednesday, and 2 hours on Friday, something like that. That's one way to do it. The other way that we kind of found a little unique, and what's been kind of changing the game for us, is we put together some services that basically give clients a predictable cost model based on their personnel. So how many people they have in an organization. We put together kind of a support model that encompasses that and gives leadership, a predictable, hey, this is what I have invested in over the last 10 years of running my business. I got to keep things operational and up. We got asked to put that model together about 4 years ago. CFO was scaling his business and trying to figure out what his cost structure would be as he grew on a per person basis. So we built a program. We've seen a couple other people doing it, but that's a little unique for us. It's been good.
And so they which I think is interesting. And next week we're going to have, here's a tease. Next week, Tim Burke going to be a guest on the show. So set your calendar.
It's out there.
Yeah, it's out there. Now it has to happen. So Tim, you can't escape. You're going to be on this show.
We're backing out. Probably shouldn't do it at 4:00 on a Friday. I don't think that's the best time.
Also, right before Labor Day. So not ideal. Not ideal. So don't circle your calendar yet or the time, but we'll figure it out. Tim's going to be on next week.
Good.
So I thought was interesting, and Tim's definitely going to talk about this next week, is that, so it sounds like when things need to happen, when customers can come to us with requests and what they need, and that's, we're open to kind of like experimenting and kind of exploring options with them. Is that pretty unique?
Well, so it's a good question. In our industry, there's definitely a focus on scaling. All right. So you read books all the time. You talk to, people who are in the investment industry, and you watch CNBC, and they talk about scale.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of managed services, and you read, the industry rags about, how to operate your business. And that's great. And that's really cool. We kind of try to go about it in the way of, hey, what's the client trying to do? What are they dealing with?
Mm-hmm.
And where do they need help? I mean, our tagline on all the stuff is, Quest, how can we help?
Mm-hmm.
And that's how Tim's built the company. So we've actually been having some good, successful partner engagements recently. And this is kind of been a good way to meet people and kind of lower the barrier. Is, hey, we get pitched by vendors all the time about how they think we should run our business or what we should do to scale.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. That's good. And we appreciate the insight. But very rarely does someone ask you, hey, what are you trying to do? Mm-hmm. And is there something that I have in my kit bag that can make your life better or help you make more money as a company or help you be more efficient? Not, here's my pitch and here's why you need it. More, what are you chewing on, and do you need any help? So that's where, in our managed services footprint, we'll go into partners, we'll go into customers, and we'll just say, hey, here's a presentation. This is kind of what we do. This is who we are. This is our strategy and what we believe in as a company. But we know it's not really relevant at all. Mm-hmm. What are you trying to accomplish? So that's where Yeah.
Would it be fair to say that Quest, in many ways, is like Batman? That Batman is known as the world's greatest detective. And have you seen the new trailer?
It looks a little dark. I
It's,
gotta be
yeah,
honest. It looks a
very dark.
little. It looks like Saw
Yeah.
meets Superman meets Batman Returns, and
Hmm.
then everybody dies horribly.
Hmm. Yeah. So
Not
I guess
accurate.
in some ways we're not like Batman, but in that we have a lot of tools and we're willing to use those tools to figure out what the best process forward would be.
Solid
Yeah.
analogy. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. The analogy is questionable, but the point is that we use tools and we're open to exploring and seeing what the best path forward is. So
Yeah. Yeah. You got the to help you out there.
yeah, thanks a
Um,
lot. I don't think it needs help, but go for it if you want.
you can't help perfection. Um,
Yeah, you can.
no, yeah, so you got the utility belt, right?
Uh-huh.
And you
Yep.
got the problem in front of you, right? And we got certain building blocks and certain things we can help out
Hmm.
with. But that's kind of how we've built the business, and that helps you as you're dealing with unique challenges. People come to you for help. One of the coolest things, I was excited today. Um, probably got I probably got 20 calls today from different partners and different people, other MSPs, other clients.
Well, Mr. Popular.
Well, no, just it's really cool. They're just calling. They're just calling with, "Hey, could you? Would you? Can we do this?" Like, the economy's kind of firing up right now, more and more from an IT standpoint, and
Hmm.
people are asking for help and getting creative and needing help. It's a good time to be flexible and be able to help. So.
Well, Adam, Grandma called me today and asked for soup, so I think we're both very, very busy. Uh,
That's good. That's good.
Important question, Adam.
Mm-hmm.
Are MSPs a safe option? Because
Just
you
good.
did mention
Yeah.
3 to 4 year contract, so I think it kind of like bears asking, like, are they safe options if people are interested in them?
Yeah. So, I mean, so you gotta do some investigation and some research into who you're doing business with. So, checking out who they work with, who their clients are. And then, the contract vehicles, we do everything under, our contracts. Some people call them statements of work or, contracts. We do everything under service level agreements, right?
Hmm.
So knowing what's included in the service level agreement and what's not included in the service level agreement, doing a little due diligence if it's a larger contract and things like, investments need to be made in the infrastructure. Hey, what kind of financials are backing that MSP? Has it been established for a long time?
Hmm.
What's the ownership structure? Um, how are they doing? Right now, there's a little bit of chaos in the market. When things get mixed up, sometimes you figure out who's kind of bluffing and who's kind of able to operate. And that's when challenging times come up, it's definitely you definitely kind of see who can help and who can't. So do your best to evaluate the contract as well as do your best to evaluate who you're doing business with and just you know
So,
one thing you got to be careful about, though. One thing you definitely got to be careful about is how they're accessing your environment, right? So
okay.
how are they monitoring? How are they alerting? Are they opening up a back door for someone else to come in? There was a breach that happened a couple months back where large managed service provider basically kind of let some bad actors into a lot of accounts based on some tools that they were using from an agent standpoint. So you just got to be really, really careful. How are the people that you're having support your infrastructure protecting you? So just do your due diligence. We do those types of contract reviews all the time. We're constantly updating our security policies and making sure that it's effective. And yeah, just be careful with that. That's the only thing I'd have to say about that.
No, I think that's important because, yeah, I mean, I think that's important to let you know who's getting there. You mentioned like bad actors. Do we run into clients who come to us realizing that they've been working with somebody? Is that a pretty frequent thing, or is that every so often, or more frequent than people would imagine?
It's pretty common, and just spilling the IT here. It happens probably more often when we get engaged in a managed service. It has to do with someone else. Either they went away, or they
Mm.
transitioned, or they lost some key personnel, or they need help quickly. I was on a call this week with an organization that was having a challenging migration effort with a client or with a service provider, and they were kind of looking for alternatives, and you don't really look for alternatives when things are going well.
Mm.
So you gotta be sensitive to that. But at the same time, you know, it's not always the MSPs it might be the challenge. It might be a challenging environment. They might be kind of haven't upgraded their infrastructure for a long time. It might not always be the provider, so you got to evaluate that too. Someone coming to you for help. It's kind of like, a doctor analogy, right? Hey, you should probably stop doing X and Y that are not good for your health.
This is great. I love analogies. Keep going.
Yeah, but if the doctor keeps telling you not to do that, and you keep doing it, and then you
It's
get
a
mad at
bad
the
doctor.
doctor, go find another one. It's not. Is it necessarily that you're either taking the advice and you're improving your situation, or you're doing your best.
Got it.
So yeah.
Cool. No, that makes a lot of sense. And I think this ties into what you're just saying too. Like, how do MSPs get started? So, um,
Yeah.
I think that's kind of interesting to kind of dive into a little bit more.
Yeah, so I think it's always fun. I always whenever I look at a partner or another MSP or any type of company, I always like to know who's the leadership and how was it founded. So what was the spark that got that company going? Some
Mm.
MSPs are very, very engineering focused, right? They have an engineered background, and they have a couple founders that maybe came from an engineering background that thought that they could go out and support a certain vertical, right? So you see MSPs that maybe spawned out of an IT director or an IT system administrator who jumped ship from an engineering firm or
Mm.
from a dental practice or from a software provider, and they said, hey, we're going to go put together a business model and go attack that market, right? So there's a couple of financial services, there's a couple of like law firm focused MSPs
Mm-hmm.
that it's really they had some CTOs and some IT folks that were supporting large law firms or large banks. They started their own thing and they go after that market. They know that industry, and awesome. That's how they do it. It's usually driven by the idea that they can come in and augment and help what the current IT organizations are doing, and charge a fair price, and help them improve their situation. So some of them grow gangbusters and go national. Quest, we started out as a regional VAR in Northern California, and right now we're in 26 locations around the globe and delivering services nationally 24/7, which is awesome. I think in the managed services world, in the technology world right now, you're pretty much only limited by what you think you can do. The amount of connectivity that we have, the amount of resources that are available. I talk to people all day long. I'm like, hey, could you do this? And it's like, yeah, we have this person in Australia, and you need a CCIE down in Perth. Yeah, we can get you a Cisco CCIE down in Perth, Australia. I didn't really even know where Perth, Australia was, but I know we had resources there that were available in the Australian market, and the customer asked for help, you get it done. So I think it's an awesome time to be an MSP as long as you're able to execute.
I think the longest road runs across Australia to Perth.
That's it.
Yeah, I think so. I
Okay.
could be wrong.
It's on the far southwest
Oh
side
boy.
of the
Oh
continent.
boy. We should know
Yeah.
these things. Wait,
Yeah.
no. Is it? I think Perth. Listen, Adam, I'm no
Pull it up. Google it.
geographer, but I'm
Moving on.
pretty sure it's on
Back to
the west. I think it's on the west shore. I think it's
southwest.
on the. I think is it on Southwest Shore?
Southwest.
Okay.
Far opposite side of Sydney.
Well, the point is, Australia is a lovely place,
It is.
Yeah, I've heard good things.
Yeah. Keeping the koala theme going.
Yeah. Do you find like just asking sometimes is almost that a lot of people just don't ask, hey, is this possible?
I think a lot of people kind of, trick themselves to feel comfortable that, hey, they know how things are going to work, and that makes them comfortable.
Got it.
If you think outside the box, if you ask, sometimes you can get uncomfortable. So, our job as an MSP and as an IT provider is to kind of peel the onion back a little bit and get people comfortable with the idea of, hey, there are a lot of alternatives and a lot of ways, a lot of different avenues you can take to do things that maybe you've been doing this. Maybe you've been doing this for 20 years. You've been doing it this certain way, and that's what you're comfortable with. And as an MSP, we can come in and say, hey, there are multiple avenues to support your infrastructure. There are multiple ways to do it. You can monitor it and manage it. The client can own it and operate it, and we just support it. We can own it and operate it, and they can support it. There's a lot of different options when it comes to managing services for organizations that it's really as flexible as the client wants to get.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Can an MSP improve efficiency?
Yeah, and it really depends how you kind of evaluate, what you're spending your time and your resources on. The program I was talking about that kind of did the cost per user model. A lot of partners will ask, like, well, is that like an sometimes people confuse managed services with like outsourcing, and it's really not at all an outsourcing move. It's basically, there's so many different things happening in the IT realm right now for organizations. There's cloud services, there's legacy on-prem stuff that's been there forever that keeps the machine going. There's so many different things happening, remote workforces, all sorts of security things happening. What MSPs do is they back up the existing IT staff and kind of give them a safety net of additional resources. A good MSP will do that.
Okay.
A good MSP is going to come in and basically say, hey, what skill sets do you have? Where do you want us to plug in? How can we help you focus on what's important for your business?
Mm-hmm.
And we'll take care of the boring stuff that most people in IT don't necessarily want to focus on, right? No one gets excited about patch management. No one gets super excited about,
Speak for yourself, Adam.
Well,
speak for yourself.
Well, like there's things that have to be in place that keep things stabilized and operational, but it's not going to change, the course of business or enable them for larger projects. So it helps support what they're doing, kind of keeps the thing stabilized while they decide where to go.
Is that so? As I was doing research for this episode,
Yeah.
I kept coming to this question: can an MSP reduce client costs? And would you say that's one of the ways it can reduce client costs? Is that, hey, you focus on the thing you're good at, your core, and we'll take care of this other stuff.
Yeah, well, there's been Forrester and IDC and investment or research papers written on the fact that if you buy a CapEx, if you buy a piece of hardware or a new technology set or a piece of firewall or switch or whatever, it's going to cost you 3 times what that initial investment was. So if it's $100,000 purchase, over the course of the life of that asset that you bought, you're going to spend $300K.
Wow.
Operating it, managing it, supporting it, keeping it up, doing that.
Do you think a lot of people are completely unaware of that?
I think it's difficult to see that necessarily. I mean, so take it to a personal level, right? So when you go and buy a car, you're looking at the tag in the window, right? You're looking at the tag in the window. You gotta, you're going to buy a new Yaris or whatever you drive, and it's not that. Sorry, just kidding.
Yeah, no, could be a sponsor. Adam, that could one day be a sponsor.
It could.
In the IT. So let's not burn that bridge.
Absolutely. So you're buying your car and you look at the sticker price, and that's kind of the price you got in your head. But the maintenance, operations, oil changes, swapping out tires, so just take that same concept of what is really the cost of owning and operating and maintaining that car. It's going to be significantly higher than just that sticker price. In the IT world, things get hot in the data center. Memory, things fail, right? Drives fail. It's a physical world. No matter how virtualized everybody gets, things are going to fail. If you're buying assets, they're going to break. So that's kind of the total cost if you're going to buy it. From an MSP standpoint, you can come in and operate that equipment and maintain it. If you're providing it as a platform, that definitely helps. And then from a labor standpoint, maybe you don't need to hire 3 new people across the enterprise. Maybe you only need to hire, a couple hours at a time, right? So give yourself the ability to scale your business and hire the labor you need when you need it. We have a program that's very, very successful. It's kind of how we got engaged, pulled in that Perth opportunity I was telling you about. It's called technical on-call support, where organizations can call us 24/7, ask for a specific resource at a specific time in a specific location, and we'll open up a ticket and manage to that person at that time. So it's kind of that on-demand services, if you will. So, helps with overhead, helps with flexibility. MSPs, it's a great opportunity for organizations to partner up with folks and figure out how they can kind of optimize what they're spending and where they're investing time and money.
Yeah. And that 3 times number, that's such a good thing to kind of be aware of. So
yeah, it's definitely out there.
I thought this might be an important one to talk about. What should a client consider before signing an SLA?
So before executing a service level agreement, definitely look at what's included and then what's not included. And if it's not in plain language, try to boil it down to as plain terms as you can. And then, looking at, okay, what from an uptime standpoint are we looking at? Are there any penalties? In a lot of service level agreements, you're going to see things around client responsibilities and provider responsibilities. And then understand who owns the data and who's responsible for it. So there's going to be a lot of terms and conditions. It's not a super sexy, fun process to go through all the T's and C's, but it is your business, and it is very, very important as far as how things are operated and how things are billed. So take a look at it. The responsibility of who's securing the data. I mean, a lot of people are dumping tons and tons of information into the cloud. Into the hyperscalers, right? So your people are going up to Azure, they're going to AWS, they're going Google. Just review those service level agreements if they have them. Some of them don't have service level agreements. They just kind of say, hey, here's the infrastructure and here's what it is, and take it or leave it. Some of those larger ones do that, and then you can work with organizations that can kind of layer in security or redundancy or help you manage those assets too. There are MSPs that, Quest as an MSP, we manage and support organizations that are on our environment, on their own, or in one of those large, Azure, Microsoft Azure or AWS environments. So it's gotta read the fine print and understand what's included and what's not. Absolutely.
Fun.
Yeah.
Not fun, but very important to do. So, so I know we're coming up on half an hour. A couple more questions. Adam, what are some of the challenges in becoming an MSP?
Selling something people want to buy.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go. That was a quick one. I was not expecting it to go that fast.
So I'll go on a little rant here.
You don't have to. If you want to rant, Adam, I'm all for listening. But if you don't want to,
I spend a lot of time listening to people talk about what someone might want to do, and a lot of people will sit around and spend hours trying to understand. Not even trying to understand, just pontificating about what do you think they're going to do? What do you think they want to buy? I think they want to do this. Maybe we should do it this way. Let's build this. Now let's build this, and we'll do it this way. We'll build this. We'll price it this way first. And no one's actually talking to the client about what they want to do and how they want to buy it. So that's probably one of the most challenging things that I've seen with other MSPs that I've worked with sometimes, and we chat about things, and we have this happen in our, with us too. We got to kind of get, smacked upside the head every once in a while. We spend too much time in a rabbit hole.
Mm-hmm.
What does the customer want to do? What do they want to pay for? What do they want to contract? What do they need help with? People will spend, you can go to some of these conferences, not now, but maybe in 2022, you can go to a conference, and, people will talk as a COVID joke. Sorry.
I get it. I also enjoyed it, but I thought I just want to focus on your words.
Got it.
That's funny, Adam. I liked it.
Yeah. I'll explain the jokes if I have to. People just kind of sit around and talk about a lot of great ideas, which is awesome. But first and foremost, one of the most challenging things about being an MSP is addressing the market and what people are actually trying to do. That's where there's a ton of opportunity and a ton of money if you can help execute and deliver services for people. Mm-hmm. But you got to get out of the idea of, I'm going to come up with a perfect widget to take out to the marketplace. You're not. You're wrong. Or you might be. I don't know. Maybe you'll get it right. There's only a couple of Steve Jobs in the world.
Yeah.
You're probably not one of them. So motivational speech for Friday. But
you are not Steve Jobs. Put it on a t-shirt.
That's a great t-shirt. There's a lot of Steve Jobs. You're not. Yeah. I like
Steve Jobs.
My favorite t-shirt is Cameron Haynes is the guy he's an elk hunter, crazy distance runner. And he's got this great t-shirt. I wear it around my 3-year-old and 6-year-old, and very motivational. It says, "Nobody cares, work harder." And yeah, so it's motivation for Friday.
Yeah, I don't have any motivational shirts.
No? I'll send you one.
So, well, I'm wearing my Quest t-shirt.
I'm wearing
that's motivational.
I got my blue one.
Yeah, I'm rocking the black. Makes me look thinner. I'll do it. Adam, important question. So, this little part of the show that I'm going to call Trust This Person. Adam, as I was going through and looking up a lot of pictures for backgrounds for this discussion, I came across a lot of data center photos.
Stock photos, yeah.
Stock photos.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. All these stock photos, oh my gosh. People love holding computers around data centers. I get it. It's a look that communicates, hey, not only is this a data center, but we're doing tech stuff.
Yeah.
Adam,
yeah.
I want to show you a series of pictures. Can you please let me know? We're going to have a conversation. Do you trust this person?
Okay.
This first person. Do you trust this person?
Yes. Looks very trustworthy. Except like he's leaning on a rack. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'd say yeah.
Cool. I don't trust this person. He looks too casual. His eyes are saying, look at my face. But look, here's the thing. I'm going to take this away. Look where his hands are. His hands look like he's deleting something or he's doing something he shouldn't be. I don't trust this person, Adam.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Let's go to the next one. Do you trust this person, Adam?
Yes.
I do as well.
Good.
He looks, because here's the thing. He's focused. He's just looking at you. And again, he doesn't seem to be hiding anything. I trust him.
All right.
This person.
Yeah, I think he looks trustworthy. Yeah.
I don't know. Why is he behind glass, Adam? He needs that distance to what? Hide secrets? That's what I suspect.
Okay. All right. So glass walls, not a fan. Have you ever been to Silicon Valley? Everything's behind glass walls.
Well, don't live in Silicon Valley, Adam. I don't live there. What about this guy? This guy looks so focused on what he's doing.
He's in deep. He's definitely on a serious Reddit thread or
he is absolutely on a Reddit thread.
Or he's wondering why his ex-girlfriend's not liking his photos. I don't know, but yeah. Someone hasn't seen his Instagram profile. Yeah, something like that.
She's not liking my photos. What's going on? She's moved on. Do you trust her?
Yes,
I do too. I trust her. She looks focused, and I feel like she's trying to solve whatever. I feel like there's a problem behind
I don't trust whoever did that that wiring job.
That's a train wreck.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe she might be looking that up right now and being like, we got to get rid of this person.
Yeah, that's not good.
So a lot of trust there.
Same guy, still good.
Same guy. But now the woman has joined. Now do you trust the situation? I trust it now because I feel like they both have the same emotion towards something that is happening.
Yeah, they're very, very surprised. Yeah.
Here's something that I wanted to show. Adam, remember that movie Pulp Fiction? That movie. It's not
that movie Pulp Fiction, like one of the greatest movies ever. Yeah, I remember it.
You remember that film? Remember that classic? What webpage have you
ever
been to?
Just before we go further, I feel like this segment might get us canceled. Just
you think
FYI, I think it might. Just.
Well, we're gonna find out, Adam. This might be our final episode, everybody. Tim Burke might not be on next week because we will no longer exist. Here's what I'm curious about. Have you ever been to a website that is this bright?
No.
This looks like that scene in Pulp Fiction where they open up the briefcase and you don't know what's in there. Like there is no website that is that bright.
Yeah.
What is he hiding?
I don't know. It's got a little Snowden action going on there. Not quite sure. Yeah.
Adam, that might have been our finest segment ever. But let's move on to Adam. It is the end of the week. What TV shows are you watching?
I got nothing right now. I got nothing. Nope. I got no nothing. I'm still watching a little bit of that Bear Grylls action for that Fiji thing going on. You know, they run across the jungle.
The
eco challenge. But nothing too crazy right now on the TV front. How about you?
Well, so we did watch the eco challenge as well. Did you notice Bear Grylls, like how when he was like standing outside of that chopper on the first scene, like he was really hitting a pose.
Well, yeah, he's Bear Grylls. He's the Survivor guy and he gets in the way of them, like to interview him while they're like trying to go through some of the checkpoints, and you can tell like some of these people who've been moving for 48 hours, like their bones are so stiff, they don't really want to break stride, like to talk to him about how they feel.
Yeah,
and
I think we've all been there.
I've been there.
No.
So,
yeah. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, you're good.
Joke. No,
okay. You're good.
Well, I'm watching a show called Rust Brothers. I don't know. It's a couple guys, Canadian gents, who are fixing cars in the middle of nowhere. The middle of nowhere turns out to be very, very beautiful.
Huh.
Yeah. It's a pretty good show.
Nice.
I don't understand anything that's happening. Like literally entire sentences will be spoken and I'm like, oh, I think they're talking about an engine. Well, yeah.
And I got
colorful characters
right now. Yeah, I got nothing on the TV front right now.
Right.
So
it's an interesting dive if you enjoy cars or like seeing bright colors.
I've been watching the news, but there's nothing really happening right now. So,
Yeah. Haven't watched a lot of the news. I'm staying away from the news. So,
yeah.
Well, Adam, another successful episode.
I would say so. I think it's pretty solid. Get the words going too.
Mm-hmm. Again, if you'd like to reach us, you can always reach us at 800-326-4220 or questsys.com. We can definitely help you out with any issue you might be facing. Not any of them, but a lot of them. Adam, anything else you want to add?
No. I hope everyone had a great week going in the weekend here. It's the last couple days of August, which is crazy. Looking forward to fall kicking off, and hope everyone's doing well. So,
yeah, awesome. Have a good weekend, everybody. Bye.
Bye.